name is DeWanda Shelton, and I am a professor. I teach for a local university in the West. I love what I do. It is truly my calling and my purpose. And for those of you who are asking, what is the show? What is it for? It is literally for those of us who are trying to still entertain these students as much as we can while educating them at the same time. There are several things that, again, my light is up, but I don't care. Oh, I guess I should care. I'm gonna care. I'm gonna start caring because we should all care, right? That's the whole purpose of this show, is to care. Care about the details, care about people, care about what you're doing. Care outside of yourself, right? That looks much better. I was redecorating because I'm recording this during the holidays and I'm trying to make it look like it's not the holidays, even though it is the holidays, but it doesn't really matter. It's here. Here's what's happening. Here's what's going on. So my name is DeWanda Shelton, and these students need us. They need us to care. They need us to be here for them, and they need us to want more out of what we do. And our first practice is to start by getting up and doing more than what we should do. Getting up and doing more for them that maybe we're not comfortable with. And when I tell you this show is something that I'm extremely uncomfortable with, but I'm doing it for these students because guess what? The world may have stopped outside, but their brains haven't stopped, and they're still working, and they're still trying to get jobs, and they're trying to still make a future for themselves while the world is still telling them to stop. So the show came about when the pandemic hit, and I had several students coming to me for references and their inabilities to find jobs, and I just didn't know what to say, and I felt so bad. I said, well, what do you do? And somehow this new era of internet and YouTube and whatever else it is, and they all said, I do something that's related to this. And I said, well, so what's the problem? They said, well, we just need a product or a company. And I said, well, go find one. And they're like, that's the problem. We can't get hired, so we can't do that. And so my brain started moving during this pause, and during that pause, I decided to say, you know what? If you can't sell yourself, then you can't sell anything, right? So here I am. I am standing before you as a product/service for my students. I am their walking project and experience. So that is what I do. I am an example of exercise, science, fitness, that this was a regime that Candace and Odie came to me with, and they designed it specifically for me, and it was amazing. And these students, they know so much, and their brains are working constantly, that they're thinking faster than we ever could. Like, I'm trying to eat something and they say, no, don't eat that, because did you know that this is probably better than that? And unlike, Randy, Lord Jesus, I listened, and the results were 80 pounds lost today. And for that, I thank them for that knowledge. And if we all kind of used these millennials for what they're good for, which is their knowledge, they're smart. We know that. We have to admit to that, because we all say that, right? We say they think they're so smart. We think they think they know everything. But guess what? They kind of do. They grew up with Google, not one of my students, but the real Google. They were able to Google and have access to information that we just didn't. And unfortunately, they were able to start absorbing it from the moment they were infants, and we just didn't. And so we have to acknowledge that and appreciate that intelligence, because that's exactly what it is. It's millennial intelligence. It's not a deficiency. There's nothing wrong with them. They are great students, and they know exactly what it is that they are called to do. We just have to let them do it. So again, back to a degree of dopeness. What is this show? This show is me allowing these students to work a product or a service, whatever capacity that they can do it in. So last season 1, we had a really good crew. We were able to pay them for their services, and that was amazing. Thank you, God. I don't know how I was able to do that. Well, I know how. And so they were able to take this as a reference and move on, and now they're all employed in their field doing what it is that they were supposed to be doing. So here we are again with season 2. So people are like, what is this then? It is the second round of students that are looking to get their exposure and looking to get their experience and looking to get their names out there and what they do. It's not necessarily we're trying to be YouTube famous. We're not. Trust me. I got enough issues. I don't want to be seen out there. But if it's time, it's time. It's the world we live in. Everything is social media. Everything is out for the public. Unfortunately, if you Google me, there's some things out there that you'll find, because I didn't know how to use the internet either when I first got it. I used it to Google SWV videos. Thank you for that. I was frivolous with this technology, and they haven't been, okay? They have been absorbing, and they have been acknowledging and appreciating what it is that Google has provided for them. But here's the trick. Now, where does Google stop? It stops right here. It stops with the application. It starts with the management of the skill. So when these students come to work on this project, they are getting the added benefit of an education while they are getting their experience. I am here coaching them day and night, weekends, hours long, giving them assistance on how to get their businesses moving, how to get their businesses incorporated. Yes, and how to get their lives changed, honestly, and I'm putting a whole lot of pressure on myself, which I probably shouldn't, because I know there's a team of us out there doing it. I watch you guys and I'm cheering you on, braids and grades, and all of you there's this one teacher, this kindergarten teacher, she is like, I love you. Keep doing it. I think she's like the magic school bus lady. I just wish I knew names, and that's my problem. I'll start working on that. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of us out here doing it. I'm not out here alone, and these students need your help. They need your help to get whatever it is that they need. And if it's K through 12 and they need to know those ABCs, then braids with grades, you get out there and you cheer them on and you Beyonce yourself until they understand what those letters mean. And guess what? She's doing it. And there's still a lot of change happening in the midst of a still. So in this educational realm, I need all of us to understand that we are here and we are ready to help move the world. We don't have to wait for someone to tell us. We don't have to wait for the new year to clock in. We just have to start moving now. And this is what we're doing. So here it is. Season 2 is coming January 1st because we are building it and we are moving and these students are working hard and they have built a new product for you. And I don't know what is happening this season. It's new talent. New vision, new board. We don't rebuild over somebody else's mess, right? We don't draw over somebody else's canvas. So these students have revamped this show this season, and it is a quarantine style. So it is a lot of me at home alone, but I do apply a lot of application and some knowledge the same way I would with my students. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of frivolous energy. So when I do talk to you through the season, it will be in the midst of my daily activities. It will be in the midst of my weekend trips. It may be in the midst of some travel, who knows, and some guests that drop by or me hanging out with my neighbor. But again, every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. And as uncomfortable as my friendship circles are being with this camera crew, which is my cell phone now, they are accepting it because they understand how important it is. There's a ripple effect for this, people. They understand that these students just are looking for something. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, so I'm begging you all to clock in with me, right? Clock in with us. We're all over here, right? We're doing this. We're making changes happen. So if you are interested in any way of assisting this project, the website is missladymanagement.com, and we are taking donations to help fund and pay these students. Again, we're paying them out of, I don't know. God, I don't know, but it's getting done. But with your donations and your assistance and even your help on some of these projects, I don't have as many caps as these students would like to think that I do. And I appreciate their confidence in me, and I appreciate them getting behind this project because I promise you, I wouldn't be selling this if they didn't believe in it. And they do for some reason, and so I have to believe in it. And if God believes in it and believes in me, then I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna keep giving you 10 episodes, yes, 10 episodes a season until God tells me to stop, and right now he hasn't. So here we are. Thank you. I know that was a lot to take in. I know it was what may have seemed like a very long rant, but it wasn't. It was really a true call to action for our educators. Everyone, it is time to start thinking outside of the box. I went to the campus today and I just walked around, which is why I'm dressed up, and I was immediately in observer mode. I do the parking lot pimp thing. If you watch the show, that's what I do. I scope. I just look, right? And I'm looking around and I just feel, what's eerie? Eerie is the word I'm looking for. I feel eerie because I feel sad for these students. They are being held captive in a temporary bubble that is for a forever state. And what I mean by that is that I saw the cafeteria half blocked off, waiting for the world to come back. I saw the break rooms closed off and nobody can eat there just yet, until we get back to normal. Well, I don't think that is happening anytime soon. So here's the thing. When people move around, you have to be able to get back to normal, right? Back to some kind of normalcy in your life. So my sisters, you've met my sisters. If you haven't, go check out the show, season 1. I don't want to assume that you've seen the show. I just want to promote it so that way we can promote the students. But anyways, so my sisters are on the show, and my sister always jokes with me about how fast that I can move and turn something around, right? I've been known to flip an entire house in less than 30 days, right? That means unpack, move, hang TVs, put everything up, curtains, da-da-da-da-da, clothes away, boxes out, done, right? That has been my training for years. I am a former military wife. Thank you. Yes, for all of you out there. Yes. And when we would move, I would be on deck to position us back to some normalcy. And I don't know if it was ever appreciated because it was like, I got to paint this day and I got to do this, but it was moving. But here's why. Because if I don't gain some normalcy, then I'm going to forever feel eerie. You know what I'm saying? And so what I got to do is make whatever this new place is feel something like home as quick as possible. So that way I can feel comfortable being here. So with that, I say to colleges and schools and whatever else, don't temporarily take something off. Don't temporarily stop doing something, because if this is going to be a forever state, then we have to look at it as such. So if we need to have 6 feet of space between these tables, let's just set that up like that for operation from now and forever. And a lot of people don't want to do that because, again, everybody still thinks we're going back down the birth canal, right? Even with the vaccine out, even with all these things. No, okay? We're not doing that. And I'll stand here as confident as Warren Buffett and his economic predictions and tell you that we're not doing that. We're not going back to a place of uncomfortability, because that is not what we do. So we move forward. We're going to move forward in a new season. We're going to move forward with a new president. We're going to move forward in a new life. And whatever that life is, it is going to have some meaning. But what I tell you what we won't do, and this is, again, my professor's homework for you right now. What we won't do is stop moving because nobody's told us that we should. Do you understand? Because we have to get up every day and move at a normal pace and stop thinking that I'm going to put on my makeup when we get back to normal. I'm going to start wearing my dresses again when we get back to normal. I'm going to do my hair when I get ready to go back outside. No, we're already there. So don't wait for them to tell you to start getting back to normal. This is normal. Yes, it is normal. It's uncomfortable. It's a little eerie. It's because we're making it. We're making everything look temporary. But if we put our lives back to some normalcy, if we put our cafeterias back to some normalcy, then people will start to feel normal. And that is what this show is. It is creating a normal learning environment that brings back the energy and the vibe and the dopeness that was in the classroom when I taught. And I tell you, I miss it. I miss everything about it. I miss the student energy. I miss the calls, the hand raising, the laughter. Yes. You know how many times people have ran into my classroom and said, y'all got to keep it down over here. I love that. And I miss that. And guess what? It is back. And unfortunately, I cannot do it in front of you guys live anymore, but I'm still quirky. I'm still weird. I'm still Wanda. I'm still Professor Shelton. I've also been known as the Fly Professor. I have never forgotten that name. I carry that torch proudly, the Fly Professor. But anyways, what I'm saying is I'm here to bring you the fly. I'm here to bring you the funny. I'm here to bring you me because that's what I do. This is not an Instagram backdrop. This is my real life. I'm going to open it up for you, not my address and everything like that, so you can stop Googling it. But what I will tell you right now is that we're going to learn. We're going to have fun. You're going to learn more about me than you should know, but it's okay because my students know more about me than they should know. But that is what I do. Because you know why? They learn from our experiences. And that they cannot Google, right? So educators, stop giving them homework that they can Google. Start getting them life lessons. Tell them to go out there. If you ask my students some of the homework assignments they've ever had, I need you to go out into the world, experience some customer service, come back and write about it and tell me why we should or shouldn't shop there. And that was way before Yelp, okay? That is because word of mouth is faster than any other form of media, which is why social media is our platform now, because this is where our students are communicating. So if we're trying to go back to a classroom box and they're here learning through YouTube and they're Googling how to be software programmers and they're Googling how to be internet superstars, and guess what? I even saw somebody on the internet how to get my life organized. I said, if she knew, she wouldn't be on YouTube. Do you understand? And I always say that because now here I am. Never say what you won't do, right? So teachers, let's say what we won't do. We won't be on the internet, right? Because we couldn't do that before. Couldn't be exposed because we couldn't show them who we were. But now we have no choice because they can see inside of our classrooms via Zoom. So when our kids walk by, when our dogs walk by, and all these things, we got to give them a little bit more information, right? About who we are. And do you ever notice that as an educator, they are more interested, right, in you than they actually are in the text? So here we are today. We are now in a stage of stop with the text, except doctoral research. Thank you. But what I'm saying is now it's time to give them the supplemental resources of the stuff they couldn't get on Google. Do you understand? Now it's time that they're looking like, how do I get the jobs? Oh, Google didn't tell you that, huh? Oh, they didn't tell you that you got to be smart and you got to be not wearing your wedding ring on a job interview. Google didn't tell you that, huh? Oh, the top 5 things, they probably did put that in the thing. But let me tell you how I know, because I lived that. I was discriminated on a job interview because I had a wedding ring on. The man made an assumption that I had children, responsibilities, and all these other kind of things that he listed off in a very discriminatory way. And I was allowed to say, oh, can you do that? But back then I didn't know, right? Because that's the important part about education. When I went to school and I learned that that was discriminatory for someone to ask you if you were married in an interview, I realized that 5 years back that I could have actually had a lawsuit or something. Or at least I could have corrected the issue, because here we are. Those things aren't in textbooks. Our life experiences are not written down there unless we're Dear Diary it. And we haven't been able to do that, educators. At least you're smart, you haven't been, right? Yeah, we have a couple students here and there. We have some Facebook chats because that's how we stay connected to the ones that we have positive energy and connections with, right? Because they're people. They're not just students that circle out of your classroom. I spoke to one of my students, and she's my friend. She's my friend. She's not even a student. I talked to one of my friends last night, and when I tell you, she said, you know, I've known you for 15 years. And I said, get out, 11 years or something like that. And I said, get out. And she's like, yeah, I met you when I was 17 and I'm 28 now. And I'm like, oh, that's 11 years. And math is not my strong suit. You'll learn that too when we're cooking, because we're going to cook this season. Yes, I'm excited to cook. I've never cooked for you last season. So this time I'm going to share some recipes. And I promise you, you can't Google the skill set of cookers, right? Of chefs. When I tell you, when I see Patti LaBelle and she just sprinkled and still talking to you because she's not measuring 3 1/4 teaspoons of some cayenne pepper that you got from organic market. That is why you don't eat the stuff y'all make. And y'all run over here eating on my leftovers. Talking about I'm gluten free. I don't think so. I'm sorry. Okay, gluten is a real thing. I love you. Sorry. No, that wasn't for you. But what I'm saying is, the reality is that you can't Google some things. Some stuff you just gotta learn. And through that, I mean through life. And through life, I mean through education. And through education right now, that means through us, the educators. We have to provide them with the things that we have not been able to give them before, and the things that we know so desperately that they've needed. We have seen in action the deficiencies, right, of the millennial intelligence, because we are not pairing these two together and building them up. And all of this research is, what do we do when the boomers retire? Because they're hoarding their information. And that is more disgusting than a millennial thinking they know everything. Because we're smart enough to know that they don't. Because we have some of the keys and the pieces that they're missing. So here's what we have to do. Transfer. You heard me. Transfer. I am constantly educating during this process. I am giving these students as much as we can. God is allowing me to give you this voice. I don't even know how I'm talking to you right now. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, these students, hands down, stop making excuses. Do you want to grow? Both of us. Millennials, boomers, Ys, X, all of it, foolishness, stop. People, do we want to grow? Because if we do, now is the time. It is the time to stand up here and say, you know what? I am tired of the status quo. I am tired of what we've been thrown at and what we've been forced to regurgitate to you. I am done. I am here to tell you that we are commanding you to respect the knowledge that we have, because it won't be here forever. COVID is real. Why do you think I'm doing a quarantine edition? I just got the news this morning that my dad has COVID. Do you understand? These days are limited. They are numbered here. And I would be so upset with myself if I didn't talk to him every day to make sure that I'm gaining some knowledge from him, learning what's hereditary, what's not, stuff I can't Google about myself. While you're in your rooms with your cell phones and your parents know all of your genetics, you are so busy learning Google stuff when your mom and your dad and your cousins, and they know more about you than you will ever know in a Google Drive. Okay? So open up your minds, open up your ears, be prepared to understand that you need this. Regardless of whether you want it, you need it. And we are here to give it to you. But let me tell you something else on the flip side. They don't want it if you're going to give it to them nasty. Because I don't want it. Nobody does. So here's what we're talking about. Open, transferable communication of education through life experiences. That is what Degree of Dopeness is. It is a show that allows us to transfer knowledge that maybe they can't get on Google. So yes, if you have to see some of my single lady behaviors in this house, but I tell you why I'd rather be a single lady behavior in this house than to be running these streets in the middle of COVID, that's the life lesson you'll get at the end of that episode. It's not going to be where to go buy and shop for my clothes, because I haven't bought and shopped in anything. You want to know why? Because all my funds are going to this. That wasn't a plea, but it was a plea. But what I'm saying is, what I have are the donations of my family and my sisters that have given me the clothes off their back. They have acknowledged some weight loss, and they have given me and gifted me things that I will be able to wear this season. Thank you, Lord Jesus. But what I'm saying is, I'm not here to promote any clothes. I'm not here to promote any websites except this one. You want to know why? Because this is the one that gets other people hired. For real. We have had a 100% return on investment of employment for our students. That means everyone that worked on last season was employed to the point where they could not do second season, or we couldn't afford them. Look at that blessing. We couldn't afford to have the same crew last season because their prices went up. That is God. That's not me. That's not what I do. I'm just excited watching them grow. And now that we have a new crew, we are here to give them the next opportunity, and we hope that they are employed too. This will be their live resume. This show is what they do because this is the field they're in. So educators, start pairing with some of these millennial intelligence students and start letting them vamp up your YouTubes. Start letting them give you some advice on what pictures work and what don't, or how to live your truth, right? Oh my God, these are such freeing lessons I'm learning from all of these students while I work on this project. I feel like I owe them more than a paycheck at the end of the day. And we do. We owe them way more. We owe them this responsibility. We owe them this time. We owe them this energy. I am exhausted. I have had the same year you guys have had. And guess what? I'm still moving. I am tired. I have been through a breakup. We have been through, oh God, almost bankruptcy. Well, that was last season, right? Well, I almost lost my car. We'll talk about that. But I got it back, is what I'm saying. Through God and through prayer and through hope. And that is what I'm here to share. I'm here to share real world experience. I'm not trying to sugarcoat my life for you. I'm not trying to hide behind a picture backdrop. We will move this season. And we're going to move out of those 3 rooms because those 3 rooms don't even exist anymore. The confidence corner is gone. You want to know why? Because my whole house is full of confidence in God. I have reshifted some things. I got a new guest room I'm going to take you into. We've got some stuff that I just really am excited to share with you. And I hope that you tune in, and I hope you're excited. It's still going to be Fridays, 7 o'clock, TGIF. I'm not changing it. Yeah, everybody's like, well, are you sure that's a good time? That's the time I'm comfortable with. I'm classic. I'm old school. I used to come home at 7 just so that way I could catch my full house. Do you understand? I know what TGIF look like. So if you're not on board with those things, that's the thing that I need to remind them that I teach them, right? So here it is. We are back again, January 1st, season 2, episode 1 of 10, God willing. And we are just excited to showcase these talents. Not mine at all. We're talking about editing, promotion, social media. We're talking about music. All of these students have new vibes. They have new music. And I'm digging a lot of them. Do you understand? Because I'm learning from them. So here we are. Tune in, please. God is working this project in ways that I have never seen my life work before. And when I tell you we've got something special for you, he's got something special for you. And we just hope that you're there. So MissLadyManagement.com. Again, I'm DeWanda Shelton, Professor Shelton. And I thank you guys, and I pray that you tune in, and we look forward to seeing you on A Degree of Dopeness Fridays at 7 p.m. Choose happy, stay grateful every day, and God bless.